Hello and welcome back to Train Fever, where we are looking at one of our lovely trains just chugging along its tracks. And yeah, these are one of our tracks of the Locoboys. And well, last time we left off, we were in a pickle of a situation because we were trying to address this flow of cargo going over there. Now we're still going to address that, but before we get into that, there has been a patch. Yes, this game has been updated, and well, most notably, or at least well, the things that are most important, according to the website, is a performance improvement. Now, you might still see it lagging a little bit when it comes to frames and all that, but this view used to bring down, my rig to its knees. Right now it's doing fairly okay, so yeah, it is performing a little bit better. And even more important, the game's now playable in my own language. Not that I'm going to, it's gonna stay in English, but yeah, it's nice to know that they finally thought of their neighboring country. Anyway, another thing they added or improved was station replacement, though I haven't toyed around with it just yet. I don't really know what it exactly entails, but still, it's improved, and there has been a track replacement tool implemented. However, since we can only build one type of track, it doesn't apply to us yet. So there you are. Now, what we want to do is add a track over here, which leads to over here to this station. So to that end, we first need to replace this station, which I think is an excellent opportunity to try out this new and improved way of replacing stations. So we'll go over here. Now I hope what they did was no, they didn't do that. Can't I just... No. I thought for a moment that this would now be possible, but unfortunately it isn't. So mouse, yeah. We're gonna pause it, and we are going to have to replace this station over here, because just a one-laned station is not going to cut it for us. Then, on the other hand, we do need to take a look at... Yeah, alright, so the outer track for the new line is good enough. Right then, we'll remove this station. Good thing is that this is only a receiving station, so nothing's waiting over here. So we'll remove it there, and we will replace it with a two-lane station. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Maybe this is what they meant actually, I mean, it does go rather smooth like this right now, so yeah, alright, good. Well then, the station is a fact, and we are now down to very little money. In fact, so little that I think what we should do is just wait for a little bit till we have some more money. Now, we replaced these stations over here, so there's a bit of an issue in that we won't be getting big loads of money right away, because those stations, well, they are empty right now because of that. So, seeing how that is a little bit problematic, yeah, I think, we'll be back in a moment when we have a substantial more amount of money, and then we'll build the track. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. We now have a little bit more money, at least enough for me that I feel that we can start our new track construction. Now, whilst, I was waiting, I did tune one thing, which I think you should know, just, keeping you up to date. Instead of having this to be full load, I actually put this to load if available, so that the moment it arrives, and all the passengers that were waiting have boarded, then the train will depart. Now, why is that important, you might wonder? Because those passengers, they will pretty much just disappear from the train after 20 minutes. And that is including the time they waited over here at the station. So, if I were to have the train wait for full load, even though by the looks of it, this station is attracting an absolute crapload of folks, seeing, for example, there weren't that many waiting, and we'd have to wait whilst they only trickle in, then I fear that the passengers who are waiting the longest might even disappear without the train ever really getting to depart. So that's why I did it. But right now it is time that we start building our tracks. Now for that we also need to change a thing over here, because if we take a look we can see that this is the new track that we need to build from, the new station lane. But we needed to go over here, and there's this track being in the way. So what we're gonna have to do is relocate this track to this one and then use the middle one for our new line, So yeah, let's get that done first, and we'll do that in pause mode. Oh, and another thing, look at this. The production's gone up once more. It now has a cap of 100. That's just absolutely nuts, man, I'm telling you. And this one's upgraded now too. I don't really know. Yeah, there's already 16 wood waiting right now, and this train's capacity is 16 wood. So I don't know, we'll have to see how it goes, but there's a good chance that we might even have to add yet another wagon. But for now what we're gonna do is oh crap, I need to pause it. We're gonna remap these tracks, and afterwards I'm gonna unpause it so that we might even make some more monies, and then I'll build those tracks. So yeah, let's do some construction then, Alrighty, well, we got ourselves this track set up pretty easily. However, there is of course now the issue of this stretch here being used by multiple trains, and well, we need to deal with that with signals, but this is quite a long stretch and we can signal all we want, but the thing is that if we have two trains meeting each other on these tracks, we're gonna have issues. So, to avoid having issues, we could do two things. One, we could build a double track and then have, the right one be for this direction, the left one be for this direction. Or, and I think that's more reliable for now, since it's only two trains using these tracks, we could make passageways. And I'm gonna make those passageways. They don't really need to be big or anything, so let's see, See from over here. I don't get a visual. Okay. Yeah, there we are. Right, yeah, I don't know, I thought for a moment the game got bugged out, but no. Like I said, they don't need to be big, so we'll build them like that, and then straight back onto the track. This is just so that the trains can pass each other if they are to meet. Now we don't want just this one, we want a couple more, so we're gonna have one right after the forest. Like this, preferably on flat terrain, of course, because that just saves building costs, and it's all about the money in the end. And then I would love to get one over here, but I fear that this crossing that we got over there, yeah, it's not making it really that possible. Though, perhaps, having said that, I don't know really. This piece over here would require... we might be able to get away with it. Let's just try this, huh? Alright, and then... Oh, come on. Oh, no. No, it's not allowing for it. Balls. Now it's certainly not allowing for it. Aw, man. That's a shame, really. Ah, balls. Could it be done the other way around? You'd think that this would be possible, right? I mean, it just looks as if it wants to line up over here. So I'll remove these track lines. Quickly replace them though, otherwise the original track line's gonna have issues. Yeah. I saw something there. Nice! I don't know if we can still tag on a signal there, but this looks to me as being pretty alright. Actually, having said that, it doesn't really look that alright. Because if there's a long train coming over here, and then there's no way this is gonna work. So we'll have to remove this. And we'll just have to live without that one. Alright. It's a shame really, but... yeah, I just now realized that. And having another crossing is certainly not an option. Now, I do wonder... can we, like, ease out the terrain a little bit over here? No? I don't know, I think I'm trying to level this, but I guess it's not really allowing. No, it most certainly isn't. Right then, fine. We'll have to live with this ugly dent in the terrain. But I do think that this has the potential to work. Now we do need to set up the signals for it. We don't need them over here because the tracks here don't cross, but we do need them over here. So let's get some signals in, and I must admit, I haven't really played around with the signals in this game just yet, so I'm by no means an expert, but I do believe that on the right side means for the trains coming, and I think we can see that, yeah. See, this is the front end, and that's the back end. Alright, so that one's working. I also want another signal over here, so that the trains won't collide, at least. Then, now what we don't want is a signal in front of this one. What we want is a signal that's holding them back over here, and a signal that is holding the trains back over here. Because if a train is coming, I don't want it to wait in front over here, blocking the whole track. I want it to wait on this passway or over here. So I guess that this is the correct way to set it up. The alternative would be to have a signal over here and have one over there, but you know, I feel like we should keep it with European style, in that the right tracks are for, well, in the traffic's just on the right side of the tracks really, and that's where it belongs. So we'll put another one over there, and then another one over there. Right. I do have the feeling that we're missing something, but oh well, we'll have to see, I guess. And then, of course, we need another signal over here for the trains returning. There, just like that. Actually, I think I could move this signal forward quite a bit. Yeah, till over there. Right, we'll remove this one. And there, I think that we have the whole tracks signaled proper here right now. I hope at least. So, yeah, now another thing that we need to think of is depots, because currently this new track line does not have any depots, and we can't just build one over here because that's going to collide with the tracks and all that. So look, I mean, see? Yeah, that's not gonna work. So we need to come up with another way, and best, of course, would be to have it on a section that is for this train only. So I'm strongly favoring this section over here. Now, as of yet, we've only built depots the easy way around by just what? Oh yeah. Ooh, a new vehicle is available. Nice, very nice. We'll check that out in a bit. I think it was like a bus or something, you know, so we'll have to check that later. But anyway, like I was saying, so far we've only built depots the easy way at the end of a station. This is the other way of building depots. Basically it means building an arc like this. We smack down the depot. Hold on a second, I do need to make sure though. No, I think we need to extend this track even further. It doesn't need to be far, but I think till over here. And then, yeah, right now we're good. I know it won't do it like that, but what we need to do basically is just arrange this in a two-part way, and look at that. See, now it does work. Maybe it could have been built a little bit tighter, but yeah, not like this. Now, the depot then is of course placed over here, and ta-da! This is the other way that you have of building depots. Since there will be only one train using this track, there's no real point in placing signals, but as you can see, of course, you need these tracks, and well, you know, if it's a bad situation, you need terraforming. So this isn't the cheapest way by far. However, we are gonna buy ourselves a new train. Hold on a second. I see that we're running very low on money actually. So let's just wait with that, and wow, look at the amount of cargo going over there. That's just absolutely crazy. Now, this new amount of cargo, does it go? I mean, there isn't that much waiting right now, is there? No, there isn't. Maybe that has to do because we changed around the tracks a little bit. I can totally imagine that being the case. Wow, oh my good lord, what am I seeing over here? How many 40 passengers? What? Hold on a second, how many can we fit in our train? This train can only carry 24. Wow. Oh man, it seems that the business of transporting passengers is really kicking off. Wow. Anyway, yeah, we got a good chunk of money now again, so we'll buy the train, but we first need to set up a line, so let's get that sorted. Now, let's see here, new line. This is going to be the Featherstone goods. Well, actually, we already have that, so we will name this differently. We will call this the Featherstone sawmill goods. Oh, and that's pretty much it. Alright, we'll call it Featherstone goods too. Very original, I know. We're gonna add this station and then this station over there, and look at that. The moment you see a line, it shows it's possible, and it also shows the interfering tracks, and due to our signaling, it immediately takes the right track as the one for, well, you know, it's good this way. If we had changed the signals around, these arrows would also change, I believe, but right now it's good. So, well, we still need to put that there. And yeah, it's time to get ourselves a train. So let's get one. Now, there's already quite a good amount of goods going over there. So yeah, you know, what we need to do is get ourselves quite a big train. It's also quite a long distance. So I'm thinking of, well, first of all, we're gonna get you. And I'm thinking of actually getting ourselves 4 wagons. Hold on a second, if I have 3, that's all we can pay for really right now. So, you know what, we're gonna start out with 3. I mean, due to lack of money, we're kind of forced to. Now, you should be on your way, and that is another line of profit. However, I do think I forgot to set something up, which we did, and that is that we need a full load over there. So, radio. Now, tell me, will you increase production even further? What we should see though is at least a stop on the goods going over there. They should all go towards this station right now, which means only more profits for us, of course. Wow, this is just absolutely insane though. It truly is absolutely insane. The amount of folks waiting over here is crazy. However, that does lead me to the next point, because right now, as you can see, we've taken care of pretty much all the cargo over here. However, the passengers still have to walk towards this station. I don't mind that so much, but I think they do mind that. So what we need to do really is provide easier means for them to get towards our nice and fancy stations. And of course we do that by adding bus lines. Now, I am by no means an expert on the whole bus lines and how they work thing, but we're gonna give it a shot anyway, because I mean, what could go wrong, right? Worst case scenario, we just lose a little bit of money on them. Best case scenario, we get even more passengers to be waiting at these stations. Which, actually, coming to think of it, the moment that our lovely passenger train is heading back, I think we might want to extend it with a couple of wagons, because it couldn't take all the passengers from over here. And already, over here, which is still like miles away, there is pretty much a full train load waiting, yet I think by the time when the train arrives, there will also be more than it can take. So we're gonna have to extend that train a little bit. And over here, we also need to extend this train a little bit by adding another wagon. Yeah, coming to think of it, we might even want to do that first. So, alright, you know what, we will follow this train till it is about to arrive at the other station, and then we'll add another wagon. Right, and it's almost there. Now we need to be quick about this, because I don't want any wood going to, you know, going by road. So, come on, quickly be in there, so I can put you on your merry way once again. There. And I believe, yeah, it's you. Right, I don't think we lost any cargo whatsoever there. No, we didn't. Good, good, good. Then, of course, there is our passenger line, which is also almost arriving. However, we might actually have a little bit of trouble affording the next wagon. You know, I'm just seeing that right now. Also, you need to be closed. How many are waiting there? Yeah, 28. So we can't even fit that in right there, right now. However, of course, once the train arrives here, we will then send it towards the depot after it has unloaded all the previous passengers. So we should have a good bit of money you know, well, we should get a good bit of money for that. So we shouldn't be in too much of a problem being able to afford this new wagon, I hope. Now there it comes, and yeah. Right, and go to the depot. I mean, we got all our money, so yeah. Good. Now, right now, no passengers will go towards the station, so again, we need to be really quick with this one, but I do think we'll be doing alright. As long as we're quick on the ball here, which... Yep. Right, and there we go. Newton, Featherstone. Right, I think that was, you know, lightning quick, even in Formula 1.
Yeah.
What? A new locomotive! Nice! Very nice. I just want to... Oh man, we're gonna have to take a look at this. This, the new train, is the Borsig. Or Borsig. I don't even know how you pronounce it, but anyway... Now, this one, you know, the Spanish Brooklyn goes only 40 kilometers an hour, which isn't that fast. I mean, when I'm, when I'm cycling and I'm really going into it, I can go this fast on my bicycle. So yeah, this is far from going fast. This one has 45. Now, I'll admit straight away, I don't go 45 on my bicycle, even when I'm pushing it, but 40 is possible. However, the running cost for those 5 kilometers an hour is a lot more. It's like 30,000 extra. However, it does have more power, quite a bit more actually. And in terms of percentages, I think this is like a 30% increase in tractive effort. So this is quite a good upgrade. However, when we look at our money, and we can see that we don't really have all that much. However, we are gonna get this, this upgrade at some point. For now, though, the thing that we were talking about before we upgraded these wagons was adding bus lines over here, which I think we should do so that we can get even more passengers to the station, or at least I hope that's how it will work. Now, I have two theories about bus lines, and I don't, like I said, I'm not an expert on it, so we're gonna try them out both. Now, one of them is that, as you can see the different zones over here, a good bus line just touches all of these zones. So, for example, we have one going over here, and then through the industry a bit, through the red, through the yellow, and then going back. I do want them all to go back to the station, because that's like the central point, really, you know, so... I mean, that's how it is in real life too. You have like a train station and the central bus station, and they're always at the same place. That's how we're gonna have it set up as well. The main difference being that usually a train station is at the city center. Right now, we are like miles off. Anyway, so we're gonna have a bus line that, well, you know, and here's what I'm thinking, because we could go with the mixed bus line setup that I just described, or, and that's the other theory that I have, passengers, you know, working in the same town, they pretty much will walk to their work, so they don't need public transport to get around. Now, the thing that we need buses for, you know, and this is totally other theory stuff, so it might be contradicting to what I just said, but what we need is the passengers arriving from this station. If they need to go over there, that's way too far away. So we need a bus line that goes to the industries only, so it can provide the passengers that arrive with a better way of transportation. You know, it shortens the travel time. And then what we could also do is just have a bus line for the residential area, so that the folks can get easier to our trains. Though, having said that, I mean, it is already pretty close to the station, so you know, that residential bus line might not even make it all that well, but you know, I mean, those are like the two theories, you know, or we need just one for the industries, or we need to mix them up. Now, looking at this town, we could try and get like one bus line over here to the left, and then have another one over here to the right, it seems. It also seems to me that these, you know, this street over here, and then this street over there, and as well as this far edge and this one. I don't think we'll get coverage on those, but the main parts of the city, you know, this good chunk there, I think we should be able to get good coverage on that one. So yeah, all right, we are going to set it up just as so. Right, I think that's pretty much all the stations covered, and now we need to set up the 2 new lines, so let's get on with that. We will call this, and I must admit I already forgot what the town was named. Wasn't this like Featherstone? Yeah, this is called Featherstone, I believe, so we'll call this Featherstone 1, you know, being like tram lines, and I mean, at least in my country they're always just numbered, you know, it's not like they're really that special, so we'll call this just Featherstone 1, and then yeah, let's set up a proper line for these, right? Right, well, all that we need now is vehicles and a depot for those vehicles. I mean, it's kind of nice if we want to spawn any, you know, that we at least have a means of building them. However, looking at our money once again, I can totally see that even right now we won't be able to build any train or any tram or anything else really, being in the negative. So I'll have to wait for a good load of stuff to arrive. Now, currently I'm curious. Wow, look at this production, 62, that's absolutely freaking crazy. Yeah, this town's growing, man. I mean, we're developing the towns and it's going upwards with us right now. I mean, look at that, 34 and 38, and I believe that was close in the 20s earlier on. Now, what I am curious to is whether or not our new and extended train is actually able to take away all the wood, or that the increase in production is still too much for our even extended train to handle. If that's the case, then I'll gladly tag on another wagon and replace the locomotive at the same time. However, seeing how right now we do have a bit of money, and let's get ourselves the tram depot. Let's see, depot there. I'm just gonna place it over here really. I don't see why we shouldn't. It's not too far away, and yeah, I think that this is just right. Now, we do need to hook it up, of course, a depot with no tracks leading towards the main route ain't gonna be that useful. And, well, actually, I think a good, yeah, this is, oh, I can't have those windows open at the same time? Yeah, I can. Nice, because this is a good way to just find out, you know, if we're building the tracks the right way. I don't want to build tram tracks where we don't use them, so, but this is quite an easy setup. Look, we'll put it over there too, then over there, and this one, this is quite a detour I'm seeing over here, so what I'm thinking of doing is, rather than having this station be over there, we're gonna add it over here, and then we need to, well, change of course the lines. This is stop number 7, huh? George Street. We're going to remove that and then add this station to it, the drive. Yeah, right, that looks a lot better right now. And then the same, well, Featherstone 1, doesn't really matter that much, but seeing how right now we have two completely, well, you know, pointless bus stations over there, we can just edit this one, George Street, which isn't there. Oh, and that's actually a timer which shows when the whole station will be removed from the game itself. And then we'll just add it like that. Hold on a second. Why? I mean, really, I just don't... I don't get why it's going like that when it's easy to just go like this. Am I missing something over here? Clearly I am. Anyway, it's quite easy for us to... Oh, now it accepts it. Alright, good. I was worried there for a moment. Anyway, yeah, so we will continue laying down the tram tracks, which, I mean, I quite like it, you know, it's really just straightforward and easy in this game. You just click on the stretcher road and it builds it automatically. You don't need to drag anything around or whatever. So, good stuff. There. And I think that this pretty much covers it. So then all we need to do is take care of the black road here. Featherstone 2. And once that's sorted, and then we can assign some trams. Which will be the first ever, really, for the Locoboys. Now, again, I don't see why this train would want to go, or this tram actually, would want to go in this fashion. I mean, this just doesn't look logical to me. It just doesn't. Anyway, we'll have to sort that, because I do believe that these arrows are the correct indication of how the line will go. So, I'll have to remove you, and then add you, I believe. And now it is going alright. But it's not going alright. Ah, maybe that's because they interfere and they can't use the same station. Alright. Well, if that's the case, we'll add another one over there. And, yeah, I'll have to remove the drive. But we'll add this one over here instead. That is, if it even allows me. Oh, let's click on that one. Right, see, and now it does work. I don't know, that's a bit wonky if you ask me, but, ah well. Now, just to be sure that we don't have any gaps in the tracks anywhere. Nope, it looks to be quite alright. So, yeah, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Wow, and there's nothing waiting over there? Nothing. Like, literally nothing. And the train's already departed that far. I don't get it. Right now, there's only 3 waiting. How does that even work out? The train's like arriving pretty soon. Wow, so we went from like a crazy amount of passengers to pretty much no passengers. Speaking about unreliable supply. Anyway, doesn't matter too much. We're gonna buy ourselves this horse tram. 2 in fact, and we're gonna set them to a line. So, now, you are gonna do Featherstone 1. And, let's see. You, I believe, do not have a line just yet, now do you? I don't know, really. Tram 2. Set line. Can I set you to Featherstone 1? Yeah, there you are. Good. But now I believe I set them both. And I don't want that. So you are gonna do Featherstone 2. Right. And that's the way how I need it set up. Good. Now, I don't really know if this will work. Like I said, you know, I have no clue about the inner workings of tram lines. But, just in case the other theory turns out to be the right one, we're gonna build that over here. So we're gonna have an industry-only line, and... But I guess in this case, it would make sense to have a residential line that goes over here a little bit. would it make sense? I mean, the thing is, well, first of all, we would need to build a road over here. That's one thing. Second thing is that it would be a line that only goes over here, really. Alright, you know what? We'll get the industry line first, and then we'll see about the whole, residential corner line that I was talking about. Now, we do need to get this sorted. However, I don't know really. For one thing, it likes to stick to this road. Alright, well, that's not an issue. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. We will get ourselves our train station, our tram station right over here. And as well, a tram depot. And now it's gonna whine about terrain collision. Fine. We'll just build it over there. I hope... No, I don't think that this will overextend or collide or anything. Look at the sheer amount of profits there, man. Craziness. However, the amount of passengers waiting, it was just 8. I don't think we need to increase this train. Now, I know why that is, probably. It's not because of just crazy spikiness in the supply. It is because, see, all these passengers, they come from all the town walking. And the moment there's no line available, which was the case when we were upgrading the train, then they will pretty much all stop to come, and some of them come from quite far, and so right now we're still seeing the after effects of the dip in line usage, really, I think. This is the only explanation that I can think of. I mean, look at all them walking over here. In my mind, all of them are going over there, you know? Anyway, let's set up the tram lines over here and add a few stations over here. Right, I think we got it covered. Let's quickly build those tracks whilst we have the line view open. But I don't know really. I don't know which of these setups will be successful, you know. So it's gonna be very interesting to see if this one works out. I mean, obviously, if this turns out to be the right way to do it, then we'll have to rework the ones in Featherstone. And the other way around, of course, as well. If if Featherstone turns out to be the right way of dealing with things, then we'll have to rework the lines over here. Luckily, though, that's quite easy to do, really. So now hook up the depot, and let's get ourselves a vehicle for this line. All right. Wait, what? How come this vehicle? How is it even possible that I can only set Featherstone as a line for you? Or have I missed a... Yeah, I see it. See, that's a good check on the game. It actually will check if it's available to do this line. And apparently I didn't build all the tram tracks. If we go over here right now, it should, in theory, allow me to set this one to Newton. And it does. Good. Well then, I am very curious to see... Wow, did I just... Oh no, it was only... I thought for a moment that we had passengers everywhere on these stations, but it's just over here. So... It wasn't... Wow, this one does have 5 passengers? Wow. That's pretty good, actually. And look at the cargo supply. That's like 41 right now. Which probably means that you have 40 wood waiting? Oh my good lord. That's like more than this one can deal with. So what we need to do is add yet another wagon to this one. Ah, what a... I mean... What a not nice thing to do, huh? Add more wagons. Very nice. And we are going to replace this locomotive as well, if we can. So once it's in the depot, I'll pause it. Pause. Pause. Yes, nice. Right, so I don't really know how to go about this, you know, but I can't just give her a place order, now can I? No. So I guess what we would need to do is just buy this whole train, but looking at our money, well, that's expensive, man. Maybe I should just add another wagon and we'll leave that one for later. Yeah, I think that's the right way to go. And in fact, with the production ramping up, I think that we might even want to add 2 more wagons. Or would that be overkill? Maybe. You know what? We will leave it at this for now. So, right. But wow, man, I mean, 252, man, that's a lot. And what's waiting over here? Wow. Okay, it seems that our train carrying the goods over here might also use an upgrade in the vehicle amount, because clearly it is not able to carry everything. Same for this train, by the way. You, I think, yeah, you're the one with the goods. I think both of them really need an upgrade, you know. So we'll do that. That's just more money. I mean, it's a good thing that our trains are just not having enough capacity, because that means that we can make more money quite easily without having to invest in new stations and new tracks and all that. So, yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Now, I must admit that already I have a gut feeling that the Featherstone tram setup works a lot better than the one we have over here in Newton. But I don't know, it's just a gut feeling. This tram hasn't even really arrived anywhere just yet, so I could totally be wrong, but like I said, it's just my gut feeling, you know, so... Yeah, there isn't even a single wood waiting over here, but we will have this one go to the depot. There. After you dropped off all the goods, of course. And then we will add another wagon. Now, I'm not gonna do 2 wagons at a time, it's just gonna be 1, so... I'm really afraid of overshooting it, you know, so that's why I'm being very careful with it. Buy the 1 wagon, and then be on your route again. And there. Newton goods. Yes, that one. Right then. I mean, if all the operations go this easily, then well, it isn't really an issue. Oh no, never mind. Look at that. We were setting up the train, and immediately, you know, 1 batch of goods is being dispatched to, well, you know, to the town overland. But look at, wow, 71 production? What in the freaking earth? I mean, that's 41. Where are the other goods going to? It's not like there is another town that's secretly leeching of goods. The only possible way for that would be to go through Featherstone. I mean, there are no roads hooking it up to any other town, really, because Tram is not hooked up to the road network in a short fashion, so... Wow, the towns are developing! I can see more money coming our way quite easily right now. Now, like I said, this goods line over here also needs improvement, so... Wow, and just look at the length of this train, and look at the money coming. 183. Yeah, we're in good shape right now. And wow, I think right now that this train is at a good length, but 64. Wow, this is just absolutely nuts. But when this train's coming back, you know, this one coming from... Oh, look at this. 2 trains on the same track pretty soon. I don't know what will happen really, whether or not this one will have to wait, or... Well, if that's the case... I don't know really, we'll have to see. This is an interesting thing. I don't know how it works with OpenTTD, but these are all pathing signals. My guess is though that till this train has passed this, well, passway, then this one will just have to wait over there. For 2 trains, that's acceptable, but if there were to come more trains onto this line, then I do think it's feasible to have a double-sided track here, you know, and then have proper crossings. Yeah, because right now, see, it's just waiting over here. Yeah, it is actually. No, right, that's not that bad, I guess. Good. So this is like the minimum distance. Yeah, this wait was minimal. It was only a slowdown, really. It wasn't a wait. So now you are one carrying goods, right? Train 6. Featherstone goods 2. You know what? You are gonna go to the depot right now. Yes, you are. Depot right now. I don't know, by the way, how it's possible for the goods to be in this train still, whilst... Well, you know, it's on its way back. I mean, it sure must have unloaded everything. I am gonna add, however, another wagon to this, because... Well, clearly, it can't take everything. In fact, I think 2 wagons wouldn't be such a bad idea. So, there. And I know I just said overshooting it and whatnot, but really I do think that, you know, 2 wagons is needed. I mean, this one just needs to go further and the production is crazy. Now, how are we doing over here with our bus lines? I don't know, and you don't know too, but we are going to find that out next time when we play more Train Fever.